All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another SIG Windows meeting. Thank you all for attending. We don't have a lot of folks today, so our meeting is probably going to be fairly quick. So let's get started. So on my end, some of the things I'm aware of, we did a couple of reviews of PRs last week, and kind of wrapping up certain things. And we have the PR proposal submitted by Patrick on adding the group managed service account support to Windows so that we can facilitate Active Directory identities to containers. I'm pasting the PR in the chat window here as well, so you guys can go ahead and review it. And our tentative goal is next Tuesday, the 10th, to review that with SIG Node. At a high level, that's the only update I have. There's also a couple of bugs that came in on a couple of different areas. One of them with the exec not working on Windows because it's not calling command.exe. There's a couple of other issues that were also filed on our GitHub page. And I'm asking folks to either come to the Slack channel and debug those with us, or because otherwise they're not going to get the dedicated support on tickets, and we can make progress that way. That's it from me. Alessandro and Adelina, do you guys want to provide an update on the testing efforts?
Yeah, sure. So on our part, the cube test is done in the sense that we can spin up clusters and start tests with it. So everything is fine there. I'm now this week trying to integrate it with Prow and go on from there. We're still running through all the tests. As I said last week, we have a sort of divide and conquer approach to see which ones break stuff, which ones don't. So that's the progress on the test, and we have have done some more work on tests that use mount test images. As you may remember from last time, those are a little bit more complicated because they check file permissions, which are different on Windows. And I'm going to pass that to Claudio since he's working on it.
Yeah, hello. Currently, we have a working version that is able to fetch the proper file permissions from Windows files, and we'll compare them to what's the expected output. But it's going to be, it might require a change in the tests themselves because permissions work a little bit different on Windows than it does on Linux. Primarily, the ones on Windows are a lot more fine-grained than the ones on Linux, which, of course, we won't match with what the test asserts. Basically, the tests a lot of the tests assert that the file permissions are something like 644, which could be, if we generalize the permissions on Windows very roughly, we could kind of translate that, but some permissions are still different. For example, I'm having right now 775, for example, instead of 644. So.
Got it. Okay. So it sounds like we have really good progress here. So thank you guys for pushing it through. Adelina, I don't know if you know this, or Alessandro, is there a date by which you are expecting to have a lot of these tests done and all the tickets filed? I know we have bugs that you guys have filed on your Trello board. Is there like a date by which you're planning to kind of wrap up some of the operations?
Well, it's mostly an ongoing work on this area. So let's say that our current focus is in the next couple of months, let's say, in terms of effort.
Okay.
That we are constantly updating, let's say, on the Trello board with all the updates that we can get in running those tests.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, and I agree with you. It's an ongoing effort.
Yeah. What we are going to have in the upcoming weeks is the PR with the change in kube test and Pro for the ACS engine support.
Do you know who is supposed to be reviewing that? Is that going to come out of a review from SIG Commons or SIG testing?
It should be SIG testing.
Yeah,
right?
SIG testing. And they're, as you remember, we talked to them, and all my interaction with them was, I mean, they're very much in favor of this. So I think on that part, at least, we should be, RPR should be handled fast enough.
Also, with the fact that we are calling an external executable with the latest changes, let's say, means also that it becomes less invasive for kubetest itself, because we won't need to add particular dependencies to the project. So it should be much easier for them to manage it, as it's definitely completely self-contained.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Is there anybody else that has any updates or concerns or issues they want to bring up to our meeting today?
This is Anin. Just a few updates from our side. We added support for the 2016 RTM for the CNI, for the OVN CNI. I'm pasting the comments right here.
And that's the support where overlays are used, but you don't get more than one pod per container, correct? Sorry, yes. You don't get one more container per pod, sorry, reverse.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, it's basically with the same networking limitations that we had before, but we allowed the CNI to be called under 2016 RTM. And we also did the OVN Kubernetes incremental for this change.
Yeah, I know that Bob has been working with you guys on the OVN Kubernetes and testing some stuff, and you guys made a lot of progress in the last 2 weeks. Bob is unfortunately not available today, so we'll have him update next week on that. But thank you all for working with him and moving the ball forward.
No worries. Should I add the Kubernetes PR to the SIG Windows Trello?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, add it to our Trello board.
Okay.
And especially if you guys are done with it, yeah, or add it there so we can track it for the next release. And I know Patrick has mentioned that, but Windows Server 2019, got announced, and our goal as a SIG is probably with when that gets released to also get close to releasing our GA production for Windows Server containers for Kubernetes. So we'll probably wait another couple of weeks, and then we'll start figuring out what else do we need to get there. Obviously, the testing effort and finalizing and making sure all our bugs are fixed and our containers are very stable on Kubernetes is item number one. But there's a few other things as well that we want to finalize. Cool. All right. If there's no other questions, we can probably end early today. Thank you all for attending, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.